Thank you, Minister Goyal, for this opportunity. I'm Harshal. I'm a PhD student studying political economy at Princeton University. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So the question is as follows. So global e-commerce giants like Amazon, Walmart, they have made significant strides in Indian domestic market. However, there are allegations, including in other parts of the world, in Europe, against these giants that one, they engage in anti-competitive behavior, and two, they may not sufficiently respect uh, the laws of the land. So, given the growth of small and medium businesses, including startups in India, how do you see India reconciling foreign e-commerce and domestic business so as to boost economic growth while ensuring an atmosphere that encourages the growth of domestic industry, especially in critical sectors and technologies of the future?
Gentlemen, the Indian market is big, and we welcome all players to come and participate in this big market. But clearly, we have to have them working within the rules and laws of the country. Unfortunately, many of these large e-commerce companies have come into India and very blatantly flouted the laws of the land in more ways than one. I've had several engagements with these large companies, particularly the American ones, and I can see a little bit of an arrogance of their being big and their ability to finance large amounts of money in the initial stages to try and capture the Indian market or larger part of the Indian market, particularly in certain products, to the detriment of our mom and pop stores. And I think it's very unfair that just because they have large pools of capital, low cost capital at that, they should be allowed to get away with hurting domestic interests or domestic consumer interests. I remember a comment I had made had become quite a matter of debate when at one engagement, a large e-commerce player had spoken about investing $1 billion in India and made a song and dance about it. I believe Ashutosh Singhal in your team there is currently an intern at the same company. So I hope Ashutosh will not mind my saying this. But the song and dance was being made about investing $1 billion, but they'd incurred a loss of nearly $1 billion in the previous 2 years. So all they were doing was funding the losses they had incurred, which is what prompted me to say they are not doing us a favor, or it's not a great generosity to India that they are investing $1 billion in India. They jolly well had to invest it because they had used that money to do predatory pricing, to probably subsidize some products and capture a larger share of the market. As I said, to the detriment of the smaller retailers and smaller shops. And when questioned about it, they keep fobbing off, they keep delaying giving you information. And when the people complained to the Competition Commission of India, they immediately started forum shopping in the law courts of India. So trying to go to one court, you lose in that court, go to another court. I mean, to my mind, if they have nothing to hide, if they are doing honest business practices, why don't they respond to the Competition Commission of India? The fact that they are trying to evade that probably only justifies that they are probably indulging in predatory pricing. They are trying to influence market behavior. Their algorithms are trying to influence consumer choice. And these are not permitted in India. Right. So very clearly, their irregular practices are the cause of their discomfort, if any. They should have submitted to the requirements of the Indian law. Today, the US is working on antitrust laws for e-commerce. Today, the UK's competition watchdog, Competition and Markets Authority, has opened investigation into big tech, mainly a couple of American companies. Luxembourg's data protection agency, the CNPD, has drafted a decision sanctioning a particular company's privacy practice and proposing a fine that all the other European Union countries are considering to impose out of those GDPR, coming out of those GDPR laws. Australia has already passed a law, news media and digital platforms mandatory bargaining code. Now, clearly the world is waking up to the reality of these large tech and big e-commerce companies. I think in America today, the mom and pop stores is history. I suspect you will not find too many of them in the whole country. We in India have nearly 60 million mom and pop stores spread across the country, the small and big towns, villages. Today, it may not look threatening. One can say, oh, these companies, how will they impact the villages? How will they reach out everywhere? But the strength of money power, technology, and their ability to sustain for a long period of time does pose risks to nearly 100 million people who are engaged in one form or the other through the small retail stores across the country. And therefore, when these large companies talk about providing 1 million jobs or giving support to maybe 100,000 Indian small manufacturers, I think they very conveniently forget to also say what will be the job losses because of their influence. So you can create 1 million jobs, but if that's going to be at the cost of 10 million other jobs, clearly is to the detriment of India. I think some of you going forward may even go and work for these companies. You'll at that point of time realize that many of the practices are certainly anti-consumer interest. We have recently come out with some rules for e-commerce companies or marketplace models. They're applicable to all. It's not as if they're applicable to American companies. Even an Indian company will have to follow the rules of the game as set out for everybody. They are the rules to protect consumer interest. So I think it will be good that all companies follow the law of the land and do not use muscle power or money power to try and hurt Indian interests.
Thank you.